Now, obviously, the first two films directed by Chris Columbus, a marvellous foundation. I just wonder about how you then have made this production your own.
Well, I think the core decision was to make Hogwarts, the context, a character. To make the school, everything, all the sets that you see, a living entity.
Because this is the third film in line, you know, with these two guys, they literally reinvented it. They found a new way to look at all the existing sets.
And he fought for Scotland. Scotland was...
And we took it outside.
OK, this is my next question. The idea of moving, it's the first time you've done it, moving the whole cast, the whole crew, up to Scotland. What was the decision for? Why did you make that decision?
The thing is, I was not part of 1 and 2, so for me it was just the natural thing to do. There's so much stuff that takes place outdoors in this story, and it was pretty much Stuart who said we have to go to Scotland. He knew all these places. I mean, what do I know? Yeah. So he really fought for it.
But also gave the film air. I mean, everything. It doesn't matter how beautiful a set is.
It gave the film air.
It gives it space and scale.
Yeah.
I mean, you can recreate a certain amount digitally, but there's nothing like the real thing, and it really does.
Howard is involved in a natural landscape, and it's not only the castle that you see in that natural landscape, but now you see the kids pretty much walking out of a castle. Yeah. On a mountain.
The other thing we tried to do was tie up the spaces, wasn't it? So you're in the hospital, school hospital, the infirmary, but you see through a corridor to the clock tower. Yeah. You follow that clock tower down to the courtyard below. That courtyard is connected via a bridge to the landscape.
Didn't J.K. Rowling actually draw you a little map of this? Some kind of little sketch?
Originally, on the first movie, there is a piece of paper. But,
I love the fact it starts with that.
Very significant piece of paper. And she did, in a hotel room. She said, this is the world.
Reading the book, you know, I think possibly the most challenging scene in it is, without doubt, the shrieking shack. I just wonder how you then bring that from the script and collaborate to bring that onto the film.
The writing was going on. What started to dictate a lot of the writing started to be Stuart's design of the shrieking shack.
OK, so what's that? What goes on in that meeting?
I think, first of all, we settled the exterior. Because we're in a remote mountainscape in Scotland on a snowy mountaintop, what looked very good in that situation was a very tall vertical tower. So that was, I guess, the earliest decision, this kind of tall vertical shape, really.
It was that, and you wanted to do everything wooden?
Yes. Unlike the rest of Hogwarts, which is stone, massive masonry, this was a rickety wooden structure. And then I guess the next step from there, I don't know if it was you or me, but we decided that if it was in this incredibly exposed situation, wouldn't it be great if it moved? If it did move, I mean, big time, didn't it? It was a
really,
Oh yeah, it was nice.
Involving John Richardson, special effects, a massive mechanical rig. And Michael. Yes.
Yeah. So you then take that on as your problem now.
Yeah.
What did you see as the problems of this one? I mean, instantly you must have thought...
The fact that we film on very wide-angle lenses with a lot of... a lot of moving cameras, so physically, where do I put the lights to illuminate it? Yeah. But it's a great challenge,
but in the early stage, it was a conversation. The biggest conversation that these two guys have is about light sources.
I think so. It's about lunch.
Followed by lunch.
It's about, what are we going to... Yeah, the first conversation is, what are we going to drink?
Yeah.
The shrinking shack is supposed to be a place without light, wasn't it? It's completely boarded up. There's no natural light sources, no electricity in this kind of medical
candles,
world. What the hell do you do?
So what do you do?
Our conversation was...
Well, basically, it was very, very soft light. So it'll be quite sort of very moody and with no apparent... source, because there are no windows. The only thing there is because it's such an old and decrepit building, because it's always moving all the time, Stuart made cracks between the boards. So it's almost as if the blinding light from the snow is coming through and just giving you a very soft light. It's also incredibly dusty. So you have the feeling there's a sort of, just dust in the air.
Johnny! No, not now, Ed, not now. These are three very important people. They designed you into this film, they can design you out again.
Then what are they doing talking to you?
I noticed that this change in how the children are dressed. They're much more relaxed, much more casual.
No, the thing is that they are 13. This is the passage from childhood into teenage years. Yeah. It is the moment in which the boogeyman doesn't live in the closet or under the bed. Yeah. The boogeyman resides inside you. Yeah. So the whole thing, we wanted to bring a really raw naturalism to the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the theory behind was that the more naturalistic we were with the kids, with the performance, with the blocking, with the way they behave, the more magical the magic was going to be.
And did you think it loosened them up, having their own kind of clothes?
Well, I only done this first film, but something I know is that the kids really felt comfortable with the clothes.
In the beginning, they just loved the idea that there was a bit of individualism there. It wasn't just all stamped out like the school uniform thing. Obviously, they got used to it, but they just...
With the school uniforms, for instance. So what we ask is, okay, guys, there's the uniforms. What would you do with them? And you will see some kids with the ties out, some with the ties all the way to here, some of them very tidy. And so it's just pretty much like seeing kids walking out of school.
Apparently, there was a lot of joking around on set, including whoopee cushions. Is this true?
It was not a cushion. It was like a... Now it's very modern. In our time, now it's a machine that is remote control operated.
And you did this, did you?
No, it was Michael Gambon.
Was it? Oh, name names.
So embarrassed Dan in front of a girl.
Actually, it was very good because it was a bunch of sleeping bags, and Dan has us to have his sleeping bag next to this particular girl, and then the thing is that we hid this machine in his sleeping bag.
Nice.
And through the take, the beautiful thing of that take is how amazing Dan tried to stay in character. You know, you will hear the
We filmed it. It was as if it was a regular take. And there's like hundreds of kids there all asleep, and these other characters, and all of a sudden you hear this noise, and Dan just stays in character.
Stays in character.
For about 20 seconds.
What it was amazing is that girls were the first, like, saying, hey, it was not me. It was not me.
It wasn't me. Yeah.
Hey, man, it wasn't me either.
I thought one of the most kind of curious casting decisions was, well, him.
Me?
Yes, you. Why did you invent this?
It's, in the magical world, they have these fellows there, right? They are shrunken heads, and they don't. In the night bus, they don't have a radio. They have a shrunken head there.
And what did J.K. make of your? Because it's your idea to have this shrunken head, isn't it?
Yeah, with the shrunken head, what happened is that when we proposed that, you're rolling. She said, "Yeah, that makes perfect sense." And I think that in one of the books, there's a mention by the...
Just a mention?
Yes.
There's
In Nocturne Alley.
A Nocturne Alley
Yeah.
or something.
There's
They
a
talk
shrunken
about
head, yeah.
That was
so
my
it
cousin, Hedy.
Made just perfect sense. And having Lenny Henry doing that was just absolutely hilarious.
I'll thank you all in my Oscar speech.
Afonso, guys, thank you very much for talking to me. That was brilliant. Thank you.